उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, आदिशक्ति नवदुर्गा देवी माता की जय। सब लोग खड़े जाइए, so stand as we visualize the beautiful form of Bhagwan Shri Ganesh Ji on this the first night of our 5 nights Bhakti Gyan Yajna. We pray asking the blessing of Lord Ganesh on this the first night, for He is the remover of all obstacles and negativities of our lives. And as we pray, we ask that His blessing forever be upon us all, this community, our nation, and by extension the world. Vajratunga Mahanaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Vajratunga Mahanaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Vajratunga Mahanaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Namaste Sharade Devi Kashmirapurvasini Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidyandanam Cha Dehi Me. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Akanda Mangalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jayanti Mangalamani Bhadrakani Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Sarva Mangala Mangali Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Narayani Namostute. Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakāñjali Bāshpamāli Paripurna Lochanam Maruti Namatarakshasantam. Om Namo Hanumate Namaha. Om Shri Sita Ramachandraya Namaha. Om Janaki Vallabhaya Namaha. Om Namo Hanumate Namaha. Om Shri Bhavanandaya Namaha. Om Shri Chinmayanandaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurudattaya Namaha. Om Shri Satya Sai Ishwaraya Namaha. Om Shivanandaya Namaha. Om Tapovanaya Namaha. Om Satgurudevaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurudevaya Namaha. May light shine in our lives. May knowledge dispel the darkness of ignorance. And may God's grace and mercy forever be upon us all. Tonight, my friends, as we join once again in devotion to glorify and praise our Lord and Divine Master, we are here for one reason, we are here for one purpose, and that is to sing the name of the Lord, to glorify the Lord, to study about His greatness, and most importantly, to learn something that we can put into the soil of our mind, that it can grow and mature into a beautiful tree to one day give us fruits. Remember, every time we go to satsang, it is like going to do gardening. Every time we go to do satsang, it's like going to do gardening. And just like a farmer would go to the garden and he will prepare the soil is not prepared in one day. The soil takes maybe a day or 2 or 3 days, maybe sometimes even a week to prepare. But after the soil is properly prepared, then the farmer my friends, sow the seeds into the ground. But you know what happens also? Not right after the seeds are sown, he is going to reap the crops. It takes time. It takes molding. It takes weeding out the weeds from the ground before the farmer could get a healthy crop. Then, after weeks that turns into months, then the farmer can reap the crops, rather the fruits that comes from his labor. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, satsang does not happen overnight. It takes time for us to transform ourselves, to prepare the soil of our minds, to sow the seeds of good thoughts, to sow the seeds that we have discovered in satsang, and then mold those thoughts into beautiful saplings and seedlings, and they will one day grow into a beautiful tree that we can reap the fruits that we have planted. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, tonight being the first night of this yajna, Bhakti Yajna, we will prepare the mind tonight. Let us prepare the soil tonight, and let us see what kind of seeds we must plant. As Bhagavan Krishna tells us in chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, and we will see how Hanuman ji used those seeds and planted in his life. And so, in his mind and his life, and what kind of fruits we will see during the course of the week he reaped in order to blossom into a beautiful devotee like he is. Friends, at this time we want to invite you now to close your eyes for a moment. As we now just for a few moments, let us just be. Let us not become anything. A child is born. Before that child was born, it existed in the mother's womb as a fetus. Its existence was that of a fetus. But from the moment that child enters this world, from the very second it is born, the child becomes a son or a daughter. Then the child becomes a brother or a sister. And then the child becomes a student. And then a graduate. And then the child becomes a husband or a wife. And then that child becomes a mother or a father. The child becomes an employer or employee. And all through our lives, we keep on becoming something. And every time we become something, there is luggage and baggage that we have to carry. When we become the son or the daughter or the wife or the husband or the student or the employer or the employee, everything that we become, there is a baggage that we have to carry. Every baggage that we put in our lives becomes heavy. And the more weight we carry is the more unhappy and the more tension and the more complicated our lives become. Therefore, for this one moment, just be. You are not a son, you are not a daughter, you are not a man, you are not a woman, you are not an employee, you are not an employer, you are not a wife, you are not a husband. Just be. Let the mind be free. At this time, even the little I doesn't exist. The you does not exist. In the ocean, the more deep we go, the only thing that exists is water. In the same way in life, the more deep we go, the only thing that exists is the self, Brahman, Atma, the soul. Understanding the soul is a state of being. And in this one moment of silence, feel peaceful. Feel powerful. Feel divine energy. Praise Holy Pavanaputra Hanuman ki jai. Today being Tuesday, we thought that we will talk something about the greatness of Hanuman Swami, and I am certainly sure, my friends, that many people, in fact almost all of us, would have heard many beautiful katha, time and time again, being repeated about the glories and the greatness of Hanuman Swami. And we all will try to understand, and we love to listen to the katha, we love to listen about Hanumanji, because it renews our faith, it renews our inspiration, our motivation, based on the life and the teachings of Pavanaputra Hanuman Swami. One of the very unique things about him is that when we study the life and the teachings of Hanumanji, we realize that he is so special, that he is completely and totally selfless when it comes to serving the Lord Bhagwan Maryada Purushottam Sri Ramchandraji. If you observe, when you read Kishkindakan, or you read the Sundarkan, or you read the life and the teaching of Hanuman Swami, you realize that he, all through, never wanted anything from Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji. You know, my friends, whenever we do something, maybe in some way or the other, we may tend to look forward to something as a result, or something in return from whatever we do. But Hanumanji was one of those devotees who never, even in dream, wanted anything from Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji. And if you observe, you will see when, for example, Vibhishan, when Sri Ramchandraji killed Ravana, Vibhishan, who became a devotee of the Lord Sri Ram, he got the kingdom and he got the Lanka to look after. So he became a king. So Sri Ram gave him kingship. If you look at Sugriv, when Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji killed Bali for the negative influence that Bali had, he made Sugriv a king. So even Sugriv also became, in fact, got something from Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji. And so many other devotees got so many different things. Shabari, she sacrificed her life and she waited for Bhagwan Sri Ram. And when the Lord came, she got mukti, salvation, she got liberation. And Hilya Devi, when she became the stone, and Sri Ramchandraji went to the forest and the feet touched the stone, she became a female again, a woman again, and she ascended into the heavenly region. Every way the Ramcharitamanas that you read, you see some devotee got something or the other. But when Sri Ramchandraji asked Hanumanji, what do you want? He said, Lord, nothing. I want nothing. But you know what was unique about Hanumanji, friends? You know what is the reason why he wanted nothing? Because Hanumanji never had what is called as ahamata. Ahamata meaning the sense of I-ness. The sense of I-ness or ahamata got dissolved in his bhakti, in his devotion to Bhagwan Sri Ram. Now, for example, when you compare other devotees, I am a king, Vibhishan said, Sugriv said, I have become the king of Kishkinda. You look at the other identities, we all have become something. That is why we started off in the beginning. We all have become something or the other. And once we have become something, identity is there. Identity is there. Once there is identity, there is a tendency of us developing ahamata, the sense of I-ness. And once that sense of I-ness is established in the mind, then we always want to become something better and something better, which is good. Which is good. We all want to become, and we strive to become something better. But you know, my dear brothers and sisters, in the case of Hanumanji, he was such a devotee, he was such a bhakta, he did not want to become nothing, even a bhakta, he didn't want to become. Because when he thought of himself in the company of Sri Ram, it was as if I, Hanuman, does not exist. Only my Lord alone is existing. In other words, his identity got dissolved in Bhagwan Sri Ram. As a result of that, therefore, he wanted nothing. You see, my friends, I don't know how many would have had the experience to meet like some of the great yogis and some of the great Mahatmas and some of the great gurus of the world. But when, especially living in the ashram surrounding, in the ashram surrounding, in the company of a guru, the students don't exist as if. The students get dissolved in the guru, the students' identity gets dissolved in the Mahatma, and they as if don't exist. They don't have an existence of their own. My dear friends, when a devotee prays to God, and when a devotee sings the God's name, and when a devotee chants the name of the Lord, it is the devotee gets dissolved in Bhagavan. The devotee gets dissolved in the God that he or she is praising. My friends, when you and I chant the bhajan, and when we chant the Lord's name, thinking about the Lord, just let the mind think about Bhagavan, let the lips sing the name of the Lord, let the heart pump devotion into the Lord's name, and the identity, the individual identity gets dissolved. It's like a wave rumbling and tumbling, and the wave then dissolves in the ocean. Only the ocean exists. Now, I think somebody has passed on in the village. May Bhagavan bless the soul of that person. My friends, when Hanumanji practiced this bhakti and devotion, he got dissolved. His bhakti got him dissolved in Bhagavan Sri Ram. So when Sri Ram is, Hanumanji has a completely, totally no existence. Only my Bhagavan exists. I want you to think about this. When we come to the Mandir, when we come to Bhagavan, it is as if only Bhagavan exists. Feel that aura, feel that vibration. You are sitting on a chair, but you are not there. Only Bhagavan is. Can you feel that? Can you experience that? You know, like you go to the ocean and you go down under the water. Under the water, just open your eyes for a few seconds and look around you. Only what exists? Ocean exists. Only water exists. When we come to the Mandir and you sit on the chair and you close your eyes, or if you're doing puja and you close your eyes, only feel Bhagavan existing. There is the Lord's energy everywhere. Not only the Mandir. Take it from the Mandir now, and then you take it to your home. And certain times during the course of the day, feel that divine energy. Don't let the little I, the ahamata, don't let your individual identity, Lord, 10 seconds only, 10 seconds, I'm going to feel you and experience you everywhere. Don't think 1 minute and 2 minutes and 10 minutes and 20 minutes. It will not happen. We are ordinary people. So, 10 seconds, Lord. I'm going to feel you for 10 seconds everywhere. Close your eyes. 10 seconds. Feel only Bhagavan. Only Bhagavan exists. That state of being is not becoming anything. That state of being is just existence. That existence is what Vedanta calls as pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is supreme bliss. And that supreme bliss is absolute divinity. So, it's an experience. It is not even to become something to experience that. It is just an experience that you and I can practice. Now, Hanumanji, my friends, was one of such devotee that when in the company of Sri Ram, he never existed. Only Ram, Bhagavan Sri Ram existed. This was so unique of Bhagavan Sri Hanuman, Pavanputra Hanumanji, in the company of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji. Now, this is what every devotee wants to experience. And I don't want to say become. A devotee don't want to become a devotee. A devotee wants to experience devotion. I'm going to repeat that. It's a beautiful thought. We are not to become devotees. We are to experience devotion. I'm telling you, my pause stands on the end. We are not to become devotees. We are to experience devotion. To experience devotion means what? To experience devotion, meaning for a few seconds during the course of the day, only feel, only Bhagavan exists. That was the experience that Hanumanji always had. That was the experience, and this is what makes him so unique, and this is what makes Hanumanji so powerful. I don't know if you all know, but in India, my friends, do you know? Can anyone tell me? Out of all the gods, all the different manifestations of God, for example, you have Mother Durga, you have Mother Lakshmi, you have Lord Vishnu, you have Bhagavan Sri Ram, you have Lord Krishna, you have Lord Shiva, we have so many different manifestations of God. You know, in India, who has the most amount of mandirs dedicated to? Like this mandir is Vishnu mandir. In India, the most amount of mandirs is dedicated to Hanumanji. You know why? Everywhere you go, you will see something to remind us of Hanumanji. Something, some mandir, somebody chanting Hanuman Chalisa. Something somewhere about Hanuman Swami. You know why, my friends? Because a devotee who experiences devotion and is as if doesn't have an identity of his or her own, knowing that Bhagavan alone is, that devotee is easily pleased. That devotee is easily accessible. That devotee who does not have the sense of I-ness or doership, who does everything for Bhagavan, is a completely humble and simple soul. And I want to ask you a question. Who would you go to? A person who is arrogant or a person who is humble? Who would you go to first? Every one of us will naturally gravitate towards someone who is humble. Now, do not get me wrong, and do not misinterpret what I am saying. I am not saying that any other forms of the Lord might be arrogant or superior. All I am saying is that the tendency of humility that Hanumanji possessed as a devotee at your level and at my level, you see, Hanumanji is not a God. He is a devotee of God. And because he is a devotee of God, he brings us close to him. Even though we say Lord Hanuman, even though we say Mahavir, Swami, even though we say Bhagavan, he is and remains a devotee of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji. We worship him as a God. Why? Because of the tendency of the humility and the divinity that he possesses. So Hanumanji, friends, attracts us in this way. And therefore, because of his devotion and his connection to Bhagavan Sri Ram, anyone who prays to Hanumanji and anyone who submits themselves and surrenders to him, such a devotee, miracles happen in their lives. My friends, miracles happen in their lives for those who believe in the power of Hanumanji in particular. And this is why it is said, Ashta Siddhi Navamidhi Te Dana Asgar Deen Jana Imana. He didn't even ask, but he got Ashta Siddhi and Navamidhi. He got the Ashta Siddhis of Mother Sita. You know why? Because of that sense of being. Mother Sita blessed him with the Ashta Siddhi and the Navamidhi. Friends, devotees of God, in a state of being, we can achieve anything in this life of ours. Now keep that in mind. In a state of being, there is nothing that we cannot achieve in this life of ours. Now, let us put a full stop there. Let us go the other way around. When the mind lacks faith, when the mind entertains doubts, when the mind is weak, life becomes a struggle. And in the struggle of life, we keep on complaining, we keep on criticizing, we keep on finding faults, and we keep on attracting negative energy and negative vibration. And the negative vibration is like a boat going against a wave. The boat going against the wave or against the wind or against the current my friends, will use much more fuel than it should use if it is going with the wind and it is going in the direction of the wind and it is going in the direction of with the waves. Brothers and sisters, when the mind is weak, we have to use much more energy, and then our life becomes filled with worries, our life becomes filled with depression, our life becomes filled with complication. Why? Because we are using up our energy in the wrong channels of thoughts, in the wrong channels of thinking, and as a result of that, life becomes very sorrowful and very sad. Question tonight: why are so many people in the world sad, and why are so many people in the world sorrowful? Why are so many people in the world think that their lives have so much of sin, and we are surrounded by sin, and our life becomes complicated with sin? Why? Friends, always believe that while we function in this world, there should be one approach. And this is why this beautiful bhajan says, Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva jinke hriday Shri Ram base aur gunaniyo naniyo jinke hriday Shri our lives become complicated. Why? Koi aage sikaya, koi maag raha sikaya, koi aage sikaya, koi maag raha sikaya. कोई से माया, कोई पुण्य करे कोई ना करे। कोई मांगे कंचन सिखाए। Some ask for silver, some ask for gold, some ask for all different kind of things. Some people give in charity, some people give kanyadan, which is one of the greatest gifts that one can ever give. कोई घर में बैठा, some people sit down in the home. कोई हरि मंदिर में भजन करे, some people come to the mandir and sing bhajan. कोई गंगा जमुना स्नान करे, some people go to the Ganga, the Yamuna, the bathe. Some people कोई काशी जाके ध्यान धरे. Some people go to Kashi in Banaras and they sit down at the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir and they do meditation, dhyan. जिन माता पिता की सेवा की, some people do seva to the mother and father, and उन तीर्थ स्नान कियो न कियो. My dear brothers and sisters, all different things people do to get one thing. What? All different things people do to get one thing. Huh? Liberation, mukti. Why not mukti, right? Huh? So we don't return again. We want mukti so that we don't return again. That is why Hanuman ji never asked for koi mange kanchan sikaya. Hanuman ji could have got anything from Bhagwan Sri Ram, but in the Sundarkand, he says to Sri Ramchandra ji, Lord, if you want to give me something, just give me one thing. If you insist that I ask, give me undying bhakti, give me devotion, and I will never stop thinking of you, Prabhu. That's what Hanuman ji asked me. I want so much devotion that I will never stop thinking of you. You know, like when the young boys and the girls get falling in love, the boy and the girl, I could never stop thinking of you. Jai Bhagwan, you say really? Me too. So when we are completely in love, we think about the person all the time. Until we get married. Until we get married, Jai Bhagwan. My friends, devotion is where Hanuman ji demonstrates that kind of bhakti. Underlying, he says, Lord, if you really want to give me something, just give me love for you. And you know what the second thing he asked for? Listen, I'm going to tell you this. And as I'm telling you this, I'm thinking about it. It makes me feel so thrilled on the inside. He says, Lord, you are sending everybody back to their homes. But if you see in the future of now, be very attentive. If you see, my Lord Ram, in the future of now, that your glories will be sung until the end of time, leave me on the earth because I want to listen to your glories. Wow. That is the sweetest thing, my friends, that we can ever think of. He says, once you can see that your glory will be sung in the future of time, leave me on the earth so that I can listen to your glories. Then Sri Ram looked at Hanuman ji and tears in his eyes. He says, Hanuman, you are so sweet and you are so special. I will leave you on the earth because my glories will never stop being sung by my devotees. But Hanumanji, the second thing I want to tell you is, he says, if anyone pray to me, Hanuman, and they do not pray to you first, I will not come. Hanuman, if devotees pray to me, but they don't pray to you first, I will not come. What is so sweet? How is it so sweet, my friends, the relationship between Bhagwan and his devotee Hanuman? It was so special. That conversation had so much of tears, of joy, so much of pause standing on his end, so much of divine feeling, and Hanumanji just staring at Bhagwan Sri Ram. And he says, Lord, जो राम नाम नहीं गाते, in this world, if there is anyone, Lord, who will not sing your name, how will I ever go? How will I ever go? The only thing that will cause me to go is your name, O Ram. And friends, I will tell you a beautiful episode. How Tulsidas wrote the Hanuman Chalisa, how it came into his mind to write the Hanuman Chalisa, and why he put the name of Lord Ram in the Hanuman Chalisa. I will tell you why. But at this time, Hanumanji, he says, if there is anyone, Jo Ram Naam Nahi Gaate, who does not chant your name, O Ram, that person is not alive. जो राम नाम नहीं गाते, वो जीते जी मर जाते, जो राम नाम गाते हैं, वो परम धाम पाते हैं. Hanuman ji looked at Sri Ram and said, Lord, just to chant your name and to listen to your glories, I want to remain on this earth. And you know why? I will tell you why. The reason why Sri Hanumanji wanted to remain on the earth, because it is only on the earth the glory of Sri Ram is sung. The glory of Sri Ram is not sung in the heavens. The glory of Sri Ram is not sung in Patal and Rasatal and the Talatal and the lower region. The glory of Sri Ram Chandraji is not sung in Guhu, Guha, Subaha, Swaha, Janaha, Tapa, and Satyam. It is not sung there. It is not sung in the higher region nor in the lower region. The only place the name of Bhagavan Sri Ram is sung is on earth. That's why Hanumanji wanted to redeem him. And therefore he says, those who don't chant your name, Prabhu, they are dead. I'm sorry to say. Sitaram. Oh Bhagavan. Nobody answers. Those who don't answer. Sitaram. Oh. Krishna. Jai Sitaram. Sitaram. Not everybody is Sitaram. Sometimes we tell somebody Sitaram, they say good morning. Hey Baba, I tell you Sitaram, they say good morning. No problem. Morning is good anyway. But you see, not everybody will say the name. Anyway, the bhajan says, वो जीते जी मर जाते, जो राम नाम गाते हैं, वो परम धाम पाते हैं. बोलो राम सिया Thank you. जो एक राम नाम हो जग में हर बेड़ा पार उतारो और एक राम नाम का सुमिरन I just remember the name of God मन में उजियारा लाए the mind becomes completely enlightened the mind becomes peaceful the mind becomes my friends filled with joy to cross the ocean of life. That's why they have said mukti. Everyone wants to get mukti. Everyone wants to get happiness. Everyone wants to get happiness for eternal, for all times. Hanumanji is suggesting that the name of the Lord now gives this. And this is why he chose to remain on this earth. Why? Because this is the place where the name of the Lord Ram is chanted. Ram Naam ho jag mein, har mera paar lagaye. Ram Naam ka siran, har sagar mein fas jaate. Jo Ram Naam nahi jaate, jo Ram nahi jaate. So those who meditate on the name of God, har sagar mein fas jaate. Jo Ram एक राम नाम से भर के और कष्ट मिटे साझा एक राम नाम से भर के कुछ और नहीं कर साझा कबीरा नहीं बताया तुलसी ने भी यही भाषा कबीर दासी ने यही बताया इवन कबीर दासी सर बदलूरी कबीर दासी इवन तुलसी ये भी यही भाषा in his भाषा he always said what they said एक राम नाम से भर के in this world कुछ और नहीं है साचा there is nothing other than the name of God which is the ultimate truth that is why Hanumanji remains on the earth because he knew that by the grace of Sri Ram he will always be able to chant the name of the Lord Ram. And friends, he is liberated. He has gained mukti lying right here on this earth. Ram naam se bhar ke kuch aur nahi hai sacha kabira nahi bataya tulsi ne bhi nahi baata Ram naam mukhlate wo dhanya dhanya ho जाते तो राम नाम गाते हैं तो परम नाम गाते हैं सिया राम नहीं गाते तो जीते जी मर जाते तो राम नाम गाते हैं तो परम नाम गाते हैं सिया राम जय जय राम सिया राम जय जय So, not everyone can say the name of the Lord. My friends, this is why sometimes even people of other religions, when you tell them Sitaram, their heart is so pure that they will tell you Sitaram. So, the point that we are making is, That name is so purifying, and that is why Hanumanji wanted to remain on this earth, so that he would always have the opportunity to do things, to chant the Lord's name, and to listen to the katha of Bhagavan Sri Ram. Now, keeping that in mind, let us go now to Bhagavad Gita. Bhaiya said Mukti. We chant the God's name to gain Mukti. We all want to get liberation. We all want to get salvation. Question is, how to achieve that? Chapter 5, verse number 17, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says. For those of you who have your Bhagavad Gita, probably not tonight, but tomorrow you can bring it, we will quote the Bhagavad Gita. And for those who are at home, if you want to look at your Gita, chapter 5, it's verse number 17. Bhagavan says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Tadbuddhayastana Manaha Tatnishta Tatparayanaha Gacchantya Punaravrittim Jnana Kalmashaha Tadbuddhayastana Manaha Tatnishta Tatparayanaha Gacchantya Punaravrittim Jnana Kalmashaha. Bhagavan says, Buddhayat or Buddhi means the intellect. Now listen, and friends, remember this tonight. We will often hear that we have to purify ourselves in order to gain mukti or salvation. True or false? We have to purify ourselves. That is why the Bible says, कोई मांगे कंचन सिखाया, कोई घर में बैठना नमन करे, कोई काशी जाके ध्यान करे. All different things people do. And everything that we do, if we go to the Ganga, we pray to Ganga Mata. Just a couple days ago, we had Ganga Dashara or Ganga Dashami, and we say, oh Ganga Mata, please purify me, wash away my sins. Listen, everybody wants to be pure. Everybody wants their sins to be washed away. Chapter 5, verse number 17. Listen to what Bhagavan Krishna says. And how it applies to Hanumanji is the point. Tad buddhayastana manaha nishta tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirduta kalmashaha. Those whose mind and whose intellect are completely, not half-heartedly, completely merged in Him. Simple English. Those whose mind and intellect, the two instruments through which you and I are functioning, that is completely tat buddhayastana manaha, that is completely merged in Him. Him means who? In this case, Sri Ram. In the case of the Vaishnavas, Bhagavan Vishnu. In the case of the Gopis, Lord Krishna. In the case of the Christians, the Father in heaven or the Christ. In the case of our Muslim brothers and sisters, the Allah or the Prophet Muhammad upon whom he peace. It doesn't matter who. What is important? The mind and the intellect merging in Him. He says that Buddhaya Sanatmanaha Tanishta Tatparayanaha completely. And who? Parayana. Parayana means constantly. Recitation. Constantly established in the identity of Him. Chapter 5, verse 17. Completely identified in the identity that is God. In other words, He alone is existing. Your identity is gone. He alone is. That, Bhagavan says, Gacchantya Punaravrittim. Gachanti Punaha Avrittim, meaning that having firmly become one with Him, Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha, their mind becomes so pure, filled with jnana, all sins are completely wiped away. Listen to what, my friends, listen to what gets rid of sins. What gets rid of sins? Knowledge. Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha. Jnana Nirduta Kalmashaha. So, knowledge is that which will help us to remove all sins. So, some people, you see, in this world, remember everything is politics. Everything is politics in it. Even in religion, there is politics in it. But let us not get caught in the politics of the world. Let us understand, my friends, the purpose that we are here. And what is our mission? Our mission is to wipe away all sins from our lives. To do that, I must get knowledge. I must get knowledge, because knowledge wipes away all the sins from my life. Knowledge is the greatest purifier. Now, just water, is water the only thing to wash clothes? It is? Huh? You dry cleaning, not quite. Yeah, dry cleaning also. Alright, forget about dry cleaning. Think about, you want to wash your clothes. Right? The only thing to wash clothes is water. The only thing to burn garbage is fire. Only thing to burn garbage is fire. The only thing to dry up everything is what? Wind. Wind dry up everything. So the water burn it, the fire burn it, and the wind dry it. The only thing to get rid of sins is knowledge. That is what Hanumanji had. This is what makes Hanumanji so unique. This is what makes Hanumanji so special. This is what makes Hanumanji so powerful. Knowledge is power. Shri Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi ji, knowledge is power. And you see, my friends, look at what Bhagavan Krishna said thousands of years ago, chapter 5, verse number 17, when you go home, read your Gita. So, the knowledge, the sins being completely wiped away with knowledge of wisdom. Now, this is what happens. Gacchantya punaravritim. Such a person reach a state from where there is no return. What Bhairaji said. I want mukti because I don't want to return. When sins are no more, there is no return in the cycle of birth and in the cycle of death. But you think, my friend, see, think with us. We think we are so goody and we are so pure that we see everybody have sins and we alone good. That is why we point our fingers at everybody and we see everybody fall, but we never take out our mirror and look at ourselves and see how much we have. That is why the Holy Bible, remember Mary Magdalene, when many of the disciples, the people, took stones and they were about to pelt those stones at Mary Magdalene, the Christ looked at them and said, for those who have not sinned, cast the first stone. For those who have not sinned, cast the first stone. Everybody dropped stone from their hands. You know why? Because we all get our lives complicated in ignorance. And ignorance causes sin. And as a result of sins, our soul transmigrates. And because our soul is transmigrating, we always return in the world again and again. Therefore, now listen to verse number 18, chapter 5. This is what Bhagavan says. Now this is something I don't know, I may say I want everybody to, but I want and I pray that we all can practice this. This is what he says. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane lavihasti Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Very beautiful verse. He says, Vidya Vinasam Panne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. Now, having gotten rid of all the sins, we tend, like I said earlier, not to blame everybody and things like that, One day a young man went to look for a job. And listen to the innocence of this young man. He went to apply for a job. So he went for a job interview. So the employer told him, he said, for this job, I want somebody who is really responsible. He said, that's me. He said, how come? He said, in my last job, anything that went wrong, he said, I was responsible. So I should get this job. Now, the guy is so innocent that he says, I am responsible. But responsible for good things or responsible for bad things? And that is where wisdom comes in. Here, Bhagavan says, the man of wisdom, when I say man, I mean woman also, the person of wisdom, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, what he does? Brahmane Gavihastini. He looks at the Brahmana and that is, he looks at the Brahmana endowed with knowledge and culture. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. He looks at the cow. And he looks at the elephant, the hathi. Elephant. Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Shvapake the dog. Chapandita Samadarshinaha. And he looks at them all. Samadarshinaha. With the same eye. Jai Bhagavan. Can we reach that state? Now, what he says, this man who has no more sin, who has become pure with knowledge, he looks at the Brahmana endowed with knowledge. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. He looks at the Brahmana. He looks at the cow. He looks at the elephant. He looks at the dog. And he sees all of them equal. All of them are the same. You know what the man of wisdom is looking at? The man of wisdom is not looking at the body of the Brahmana. He is not looking at the body of the dog. Naturally, the body of the Brahmana, the cow, the dog is different. But he goes beyond the body and he sees what you and I can not see. Or what we don't see. I shouldn't say cannot see, but I said we don't see. That is what the wise man does. When I look, and when you look, Samadarshinaha, remember that one powerful word tonight. Samadarshinaha, equally, you look at everyone. Nobody high, nobody low. Nobody superior, nobody inferior. There's a beautiful bhajan that says something like that, I think. तो उठी है सारी धरती देख ले गोला गगन है सारा भीख मांगने आया तेरे घर जगत का पालनहारा रे जगत का पालनहारा मैं चोर सकल अभिमान अमर कर ले तुम अपनाना भगत भर दे ओ भगत भर दे तेरे द्वार करा भगवान रे भगवान is standing by the door and all he wants of us is for us to fill his bag because he comes like a beggar. He wants us to fill his bag with all of our ignorance and all of our ego and all of our abhiman. Because that is what is keeping us down. My friends, this is what makes Hanumanji so unique. Hanumanji looked at all equally. He had what is called as Samadarshinaha. He was a great Pandit. Pandita Samadarshinaha. Hanumanji was a great devotee, he was a great Brahmana. He was a great Mahatma. Hanumanji, my friends, is Mahavir. This is what makes him so unique. Now, because his aura is so powerful, and because his aura is so unique and divine, anyone who thinks about him, his aura automatically gets transferred to that devotee. Now one day, Tulsidas, as we know, who wrote the Ramcharitamanas, and he also had the Hanuman Chalisa. Can anyone tell how he wrote the Hanuman Chalisa? Anybody knows? You know, in the Ramcharitamanas, he sat down at the bank of the Ganga and Tulsi Ghat in Banaras, and he wrote Ramcharitamanas. Anyone knows how he wrote the Hanuman Chalisa? So because one day he had just turned a teenager, early teens, or maybe just become a teenager. And we all know that in his life he had a very, very challenging life. He was let me just say, he had a very challenging life. And because if I go into that, it's a different background. So he had some friends, and those friends, he would play with them, boys, playing together, all the different sports, etc. But one day these boys, there was a Hanuman Mandir on top of a hill. On the way to that Mandir, there was a banyan tree, and there was a banyan tree on one side, and there was also some people believe on the banyan tree there is power. The banyan tree, what are they? I say ghosts and spirits, I think they live on the banyan tree. Jai Bhagwan. Is that true? Ghosts and spirits in the banyan tree? Banyan tree is not people tree, you know. They say ghosts and evil spirits live on the banyan tree. Oh God, I see people looking now to see if I can have a banyan tree they have. Anyway, to that Mandir there was a banyan tree, and so to go to the Mandir of Hanumanji, devotees would not want to go, because every time the boys tried to go, there was some evil, some spirit or some negative things would affect them in some way, and they will not be able to go. But they really wanted to go to that Mandir. Now, to go to the Mandir, there were 40 steps to climb up. So they told Ram Gola, who was to become Tulsidas, they told him, they said, are you a devotee of God? He says, yes, I am a devotee of God. The boys told him, do you know that there is a Mandir on top of the hill? He says, yes. Have you ever been there? No. Would you like to go? Yes. Would you go? Of course I'll go. So the boys now, who knew about the ghost and the spirit, etc., start hitting each other. He will go. He will go. And he will get hold by the spirit and the ghost. So, the child, Tulsidas, knew what the boys were talking about and what they were thinking. But they didn't know, my friends, that this was a child that was connected to Bhagavan right from his birth. They didn't know that this was a child from the time he was born, he said, Ram, Ram. When the name of Ram echoes, Hanumanji will always be here. Why Hanumanji decided to remain on the earth? For anyone who chants the name of Ram, Hanumanji will always come to that devotee. And so, the child Ram Gola, who became Tulsidas eventually, knew that the boy was planning, as we say locally, to set him up. You know. But the boys didn't know, those boys didn't know, that Hanumanji was going to set them up. sorry, Tulsidas was going to set them up. And what he did was, first he told, okay, if I am going, you all have to come with me. They said, we're not going with you. You have to go alone. And listen to what the child did. He walked towards the steps and he put his first foot on the first step. And his mind burst into this verse. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Nijamana Mukur Sudhari Varnaura Gopala Vimalayasha Jodaya Kupalchari Putrihina Tanujani Sumira he put his foot on the second step. Jai Hanuman Jnana Gunasa Jai Kapi Sati Hudona. He put his foot on the third step. Ramaduta Purita Balatha Anjani Putra Paramasudana. By the time he reached the banyan tree, Bhuta Pisa Chanikat Nahiya Mahavira Javanama Sunana. Oh man. From the time he reached by the banyan tree where the evil spirits were, Bhuta Pisa Chanikat Nahiya Mahavira Javanama Sunana. Hanuman, wherever your name is chanted, evil spirits disappear. Halfway to the temple, he composed that verse, and by the time he reached the 40th step, Hanuman had completed the 40 verses of the Hanuman. Tulsidas had completed the 40 verses of the Hanuman Chalisa. See the power of Hanumanji. How, my friends, can Hanumanji, ever fail us? Can it ever be possible that we can be devotees of His and we would ever suffer in this world? How can it be possible? Is it possible to put your hand in fire and not get burned? Is it possible? Can you put your hand in fire and get burned? Is it possible? Okay, you might say, okay, so put your hand in fire and get burned. But the Jesus will like it, I say. Okay, forget that fire. Is it possible to drink the ocean in one mouthful of water? Is it possible? Not possible. Then, if to drink the ocean in one bottle of water, if that is not possible, my dear friends, how can it be possible for us to suffer in this world and not have the grace of Hanumanji when he is so easily available? How is it possible? I was in Canada just about a week ago, and I told the devotees that Mandir, I said, Jyoti got Chalisa. I said that from that week, that last week, sing the Hanuman Chalisa once a day for the next 100 days, and a miracle will take place in their lives. Just 100 days. One time a day. Sing the Hanuman Chalisa. But when you sing the Hanuman Chalisa, you don't be there. Only see Hanumanji there when you are singing. Don't become anything. Don't do it because you want something. Don't do it because you want a miracle to happen. Do it because you are blessed with it. Leave everything else in His hands for 100 years. Bhagavan is telling in this way that when we do this, my friends, our lives become elevated. Our lives become peaceful. Our life becomes joyful. And this is why He came into our lives. This is how the Gita applies in His life. This is how we can elevate ourselves. While Panditji is doing the Havan, let's join in the final bhajan tonight. Mahavir banke, Ranveer banke, chale aana, bajrangi chale aana. I dedicate this bhajan to Rani and Sharda. Recently got married. God bless you both. And to all the young people who are here tonight, may Bhagavan bless you with that strength and that power. Mahavir banke, Ranveer banke, chale aana, chale aana, bajrangi chale aana. Mahavir banke, Ranveer banke, chale aana, bajrangi chale aana. Bhagavan will come in any form, at any time, to bless us all. Tum bhima rupa mein aana, tum bhima rupa mein aana, padma puri saapne ki chale aana, Mahavir banke, Ranveer banke, chale aana. बोलिए पवन पुत्र हनुमान की, श्यामर रामचंद्र की. My friends, this brings us to the end of the night discourse, and I want to express my sincere thanks to all of you who have come to join with us tonight on this the first night of this 5 nights Bhakti Jnana Yajna. May the blessings and may the grace of the Lord forever be upon us all. And remember one thing tonight: let yourself get dissolved in Bhagwan. Only see Bhagwan alone when you pray, just for 10 seconds a day. And we will be on the path like Hanumanji, as he became one of the greatest bhakta and devotees of our Lord. Kayena vacha manasendriyena buddhyanava prakriti svabhava karomi adya sakalam parasmai narayeti samapayami Tvameva mata च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुः च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव हरिपुरी मथुरा क्षत्रिवेणुका बदरिबन्धपतेश्वर मय गयामपि करवारिका प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम् पुत्र हनुमान की जय श्यामर रामचंद्र की जय आज शक्ति और दुर्गा माता की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय हर हर नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव प्रेम से बोलिए सत्य सनातन धर्म